Welcome back to Mind Your Biz. My name is Seth, and you're watching, of course, Mind Your Biz. I have with me the effervescent Mama Biz.
Hello, miners.
Let's talk a little bit about the news. This is a pre-recorded segment to help us get to a couple things we need to do tonight, but this is happening on the evening of March 7th. We're not going over our Fear and Greed Index. We're going to jump straight into the news. NFTs may soon be available on Amazon with reported plans for a new platform launch. Is crypto adoption on the rise?
Oh, yes.
You think so? All right, let's take a look at some of the highlights here. Apparently, this upcoming web initiative, if rumors are to be believed, is not open source. The NFTs can only be purchased from the Amazon account, through an Amazon account, so you have to register with them using a credit card or whatever form of payment you have registered with Amazon. And apparently it's running on a private blockchain that is not compatible with the Ethereum virtual machine, meaning that it can't be bridged to Polygon, Avalanche, Binance Smart Chain, or Ethereum.
Wow.
Some of the most popular NFT platforms. If you take Solana out of the running, those are the most popular NFT platforms.
Honestly, watching the merge between Web 2 and Web 3 is really, really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally, right? Because the way that Amazon is doing it doesn't really look like it's merging at all, right?
No, it's still like more of the same of this corporatist, like, oh, well, we just want it our way and we want to remain the monolithic rulers of the world. And so it's just going to be on our special chain. And it's like, you're ignoring the entire community that has built this ecosystem.
100%. But the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Yes.
Right. We've seen this in the past. We've seen this with every previous marketing craze or every previous sort of consumer goods craze in the past, or every major trend is that there are these. I mean, power tends to congregate. We've seen this in other institutions too, right?
That's true.
So it's unfortunate, but maybe, just maybe, we can resist.
But it's interesting. But I think what kind of baffles me, leaves me scratching my head here, is when we look at Ethereum, it's like on the pie, it's like that great big blue piece of almost the whole pie. So it's like, how are you going to ignore that? It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. When we take a look at, DeFi Llama, we keep seeing that. It's been significant. Yeah. More than 50% for a long time.
It seems very, very tone deaf to me.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how that pans out for them. If it pans out, I've got another article that kind of hints at some of this data leak from Amazon. You want to read it? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's take a look at this. Apparently, Bitcoinist has another piece that says Amazon NFT rumors continue, that they're expecting it next month. All this is pretty fresh, but apparently they've got different dates for when this might appear. They say in late April. The other article said sometime in late March, but they say maybe as early as late April. And they say, I mean, that's only 2 months away. That is pretty fast if they're starting from a dead standstill right now. But then they say that NFTs could be utilized in customer deliveries, which is sort of, people talk about utility with your NFTs. It's sort of the ultimate utility. Did you actually buy something? Did it come with some kind of a value added add-on? Is it a reward system, a loyalty program?
And when people talk about adoption, mass adoption, they talk about how eventually everyone's going to be using NFTs, but they won't know that that's exactly what they're doing.
This could totally fit the bill. That said, you don't actually need NFTs to do a rewards program or a loyalty program.
No, but if you're trying to incorporate yourself into Web3, you do.
Yeah, no, fair point. You do. But then if you can't translate those rewards outside of the walled garden of this brand new private blockchain that they've created, what's the point?
I know.
Right? Like, it's sort of like,
Why?
Yeah, form over function, fashion over function. I don't know. That just doesn't seem quite right. You said tone deaf. Probably a good way of putting it. But let's see some other highlights from this article here. Pardon me. So it's possible, these are some quotes from the CEO, Andy Jassy, just kind of taken out of context. It's possible that Amazon integrates crypto payments in the future too. To date, Amazon has shown no interest in integrating native crypto payments. Now, this to me, it seems like the lowest hanging fruit for Amazon, because they could, upon accepting Bitcoin, Ethereum, any of the major stable coins, any crypto at all, they could dominate the e-commerce industry in terms of the number of transactions that flow through their ecosystem. The velocity of cryptocurrency as payment would just explode by Amazon accepting it. And maybe if they didn't even have that take place in the United States, right, or in the Americas, if they had that take place in developing nations where Amazon does business, just as a pilot, I think they would basically they would 10x, maybe even 100x the amount of.
Why are you dropping all this alpha, giving them these great ideas for free?
Because it's been out there. It's as plain as the nose on their face, right? On Andy Jassy's face. Like, accept cryptocurrency payments, and you will become the most used DApp in all cryptocurrency because of the number of purchases that are made. In the meantime, it's third-party solutions, coupon platforms or gift card platforms let you buy Amazon gift cards that are getting all the crypto and getting all the alpha, right? Where if they're playing the market correctly, then they're selling when Bitcoin is relatively undervalued, and then the value of Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever else goes up, and the gift card sellers are making out like bandits. They're doing great in some of these smaller outfits, but Amazon could benefit from that too, in the same way that Tesla and MicroStrategy benefited from having Bitcoin on their balance sheets.
Yeah, but I think that you just keep running into this resistance to change. Yeah. And a lack of understanding of what Web3 is, and people just wanting to do more of the same because it's what's familiar. And I think you come across that a lot in these more established corporations like Amazon.
Yeah. They make it sound like it's easy. It's probably not as easy for them. But the last piece of this whole news cycle, or this whole movement with Amazon, is that there's been something of a partnership with Ava Labs. Now, they make the Avalanche blockchain, which is similar to Ethereum. I've talked about this before. It's similar to Ethereum, uses the EVM architecture, right? So you can make NFTs in the same way, you can make tokens in the same way, play to earn games would interact with that blockchain in the same way. But apparently, this new proposed blockchain that Amazon might make is not going to be based on Avalanche. It's just sort of a different side of their business. That's the other thing, is that Amazon is huge. They don't just sell stuff on their website. They have all the Amazon Web Services that powers the other half of the internet, including things like Netflix and every other streaming video service. So several streaming video services, they're run on Amazon servers.
Which is so strange when you consider that Amazon and Netflix are competitors.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, it totally is. But it hasn't stopped those kinds of sort of uneasy friendships or friendly rivalries. It hasn't stopped them from happening in tech in the past. But moving on, let's talk a little bit about Jack Dorsey's announcement. Can you read this one off for us?
Jack Dorsey's block announces mining development kit for novel Bitcoin mining use cases.
And this was kind of cool. I opened up the actual article, the actual website, and was very impressed by what I saw. Thank you for sending this over. This is one that Mama Biz sent over to me. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It was just great. And I don't know if this is going to be like the thing, the Bitcoin mining kit, the crypto mining kit to end all crypto mining kits, but I like the intent. I like the direction of this thing. Let's take a look at this a little bit more. Now, they have something called a Lightning development kit or a Bitcoin development kit. These are separate projects. And they call it an MDK, right? A bit like a software development kit. And here's their direct website. It's mining.build. And if you want to check this out for yourself, mining.build. You can go to this blog entry as of this morning that talks to you about a Bitcoin mining system based on custom silicon and open source, meaning anybody can build on top of it. They ask some very important questions as far as what people might want in an open source kit where they can build anything that they would need in, within those narrow boundaries, right? For Bitcoin mining and making it extensible and future-proof or backwards compatible, or making it just flexible enough to do things that other Bitcoin mining systems haven't in the past. We're well over 10 years into this whole Bitcoin experiment, and we still don't have anything like this. Yeah, they actually did, I think, start asking the right questions. And that's what I appreciate about what they're doing. Now, whether or not they ever ship anything or anything ever comes to light, I kind of don't care. I just like that they're asking some of these questions, and that with these questions, we're, that alone, we're going to start seeing improvements in the way that Bitcoin mining equipment is built in the future. So, yeah.
But again, all of this to me, like everything in the news I was reading today, well, not everything, but a lot of what I was reading in the news today just screams mass adoption. When you see names like Amazon and Jack Dorsey all tied into mining and NFTs, it's like, oh, it's happening. Here it comes.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that kits like this also will make it more accessible for people who maybe want to contribute to the innovation and haven't known how in the past.
Yeah.
So, yeah, super excited about that. Some additional news coming out of of Latin America. I think specifically it's Argentina. but apparently there's a travel agency called Despegar.
Despegar?
Despegar. I'm being very formal with the way I'm pronouncing that, but yes, Despegar. It begins accepting crypto payments, and this is not dissimilar from Travala, which is a service that we've used here stateside. They do offer international flights, but Despegar is region specific, and so people in Central and South America, if they're booking through Despegar in Argentina, will be able to start paying with crypto.
That's exciting.
Yeah, right? I mean, native crypto payments, they just make sense from a business perspective. If you have any profit margin at all, you now have options to take that profit margin, leave some off to the side, and invest with that balance sheet. And of course, convert the rest of your profit margin into fiat currencies should you need to pay your not only your operating expenses, but also have some profits held in the good old fashioned way. But I just think it's the smartest thing for any business to get involved in, personally. But I'm biased, right? So,
well, and I think that there's a lot of motivation in Central South American countries to get involved with cryptocurrency because they've basically lived under the oppressive thumb of the American dollar for so long that that's why crypto is so appealing. It's like, oh, we can finally thrive. Yeah. And we don't have to live by the rule of the US dollar.
Yeah, well, that's certainly the case over in El Salvador. They're not saying it as such. Nayib Bukele is not saying it quite that way, but you're spot on, right? For countries that are dollarized. Now, Argentina is not dollarized, as I understand it. Argentina has its own bolivar, but so did El Salvador, and it still wound up failing against the dollar.
Right. So, and I guess that's kind of what I was addressing. Like,
agreed. Let's jump into some of the rest of these articles. We'll go kind of like lightning round.
So fast.
I have one concern about this article here, and that is just that they are using Binance Pay, and they're not using any other type of generic gateway. There's always the risk using Binance Pay or any other kind of centralized solution that things can go wrong. Now, I'm not forecasting any kind of doom and gloom here, just saying things can go wrong. And when things can go wrong, occasionally they do go wrong.
Okay, but when we talk about like those concerns, we're just talking about it as a holding service, but not as a pass-through service, correct?
Well, it may be something of a pass-through service. They've got apparently this partner as well, InSwitch, that will be converting the crypto to fiat. So I don't know to what extent they're going to do that. Hopefully they're smart with their margins. So best of luck to Despegar. I hope it turns out well for them. But moving on from the block, TenderFi hacker returned stolen funds and got a bounty reward. This warms my heart too. This is how it's supposed to work. You're supposed to go break things as a hacker, and then as an ethical hacker, go fix them too. You're supposed to take the money and then give it back.
Is that just to kind of prove a point? Like they come in like, look, you have a problem here. Okay, here's your money back, and can I get paid for my trouble?
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily to hold people hostage. It's not necessarily to extort the money from them.
That's not what I meant. What I meant was specifically like someone who comes in and checks your security system to check for weak points. They show you where it is, and they have to go through this process of like, yep, this is the bad thing that could happen. So pay me for my trouble. Yeah,
that's exactly right. That is, but here's the thing: you figure if they had paid somebody this amount in salary the year before, they would have avoided having this much go out. Right.
Right.
$1.5 million, a little over $1.5 million. And all it would take is another person on salary for, a little over 100K, a little under 100K is what they paid this hacker as the bounty. And I think that was money well spent to get that amount back.
Agreed.
Yeah. And for the hacker also to say, look, I'm going to send this back. Can we please negotiate a bounty? It would be super cool if you did. I have every intention of giving this back without it becoming extortion. It's a delicate dance, right? It's a very delicate approach they had to take. But I think it's important for ethical hackers to get paid. I think it's important for people to be conscientious about breaking things and then fixing them again. So, in
other words, you like to see good behavior rewarded.
I do like to see good behavior rewarded. But let's move on to our next piece right here. Riot Games execs raised $55 million for a new studio and say no effing thanks to NFTs, apparently.
Wow.
Yep. Kate Irwin. Shout out to Kate Irwin. Another friend who is writing over at Decrypt. Did not see you at ETH Denver. Did see Jason Nelson over there. So shout out to the team over at Decrypt. But we had some FaceTime there. But apparently, a couple of the former executives League of Legend, Riot Games raised $55 million in a Series A funding called the Believer Company. Despite being backed by firms that are prominent in the Web3 world, they say nope, not NFTs. I mean, not everything has to have NFTs. Not everything has to use blockchain. I think that's okay. I think it's great that they just were very clear about what they make and who it's for. It's okay to move on.
Well, and maybe it also tells a lot about the loss of trust.
Yes.
This past year.
I think it does communicate a little bit about the loss of trust, but I think that there are plenty of game studios that were already kind of thinking we don't necessarily want to build for that customer avatar, for that customer profile. And that's okay. I've said for years, blockchain isn't the solution to everything, even customer rewards programs that we talked about earlier. Might not be blockchain as the solution for that, right? So moving on, we got the SEC snubbed as Voyager wins court approval for sale to Binance US. The SEC, frankly, in my opinion, is a rogue organization. I think that they're way too comfortable trying to pursue the regulation via enforcement method. I mean, Voyager is trying to just close its doors and do right by its customers. That would require it to find somebody to take on its toxic debt. Binance US is offering to buy it, and the SEC is trying to prevent that. Who is the SEC really working for? Because it's clearly not the retail investors who got hurt.
Oh, no, I'm sure they're here for the people, hun.
Yeah, right. Right. Anyway, I don't want to go too far down that rabbit hole either. I don't want to come across as, too subversive. Just the right amount subversive.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. But a couple other articles that are worth mentioning. Elon Musk has ambitions of making Twitter the world's biggest financial institution. And he did not say whether or not there are plans for further integration of cryptocurrency. But he wants it, oh my gosh, to be a payment tool. He says, I think it's possible. I should probably try to get whatever. Oh, it's not actually. There you go. Elon Musk voice. I think it's possible to become the biggest financial institution in the world just by providing people with convenient payment options. He's got kind of a weird voice. It's kind of nondescript. Anyway, he's not wrong, but here's the thing. Yeah, PayPal exists. Venmo exists. Cash App exists. There are plenty of payment options that could be integrated. What are you playing at, Senor Musk? I don't know that I fully get it at this point. And if it's not crypto, then what and why?
I'm curious too.
I want to find out, but I don't know.
We'll see where it goes. We'll see.
I don't know that I'm curious enough to go and actually put any of our money on it. Just to say.
Hey, you have a blue check mark. You're already putting money into Twitter.
That's a fair point. Yeah, $8 at a time. He's already got it. So Argo Blockchain continues to increase Bitcoin mining, outpacing difficulty growth. So Argo Blockchain is one of the institutional grade miners. And yeah, they're pumping things up. Apparently producing 162 Bitcoin in February, 7% daily increase from the previous month. They say that the increase in production results from the company's efforts to optimize its mining operations and improve efficiency, powers its facilities through renewable energy, which enables the company to reduce its carbon footprint and achieve sustainable growth. This reads kind of like, it's a good thing, but it does read kind of like a press release.
It does.
Are we invested in Argo? No. Is it a good thing though? Yes, it is. It's a good thing. Please keep adding those renewables and take away some of the ammunition of the hater. And that's all we have time for. Thank you so much for watching our news roundup. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up. Be sure you're subscribed. Turn on all notifications if you want to hear more from Mind Your Biz, Seth from Mind Your Biz, and Mama Biz on our next segment. Remember, you're the reason I make this media. I love your face. Remember to stay private and mind your biz.